Right, welcome back. Second video in the series. So again, on the subframe, you saw me in a previous video getting the subframe out of the car. So this video I'm going to mainly concentrate on stripping the subframe down, getting everything ready to be prepped and all the rest of it. So that steering rack's got to come off, the anti-roll bar got to come off, the lower wishbone arms also coming off, and I'm also probably going to be removing the bushes, so the subframe bushes and the bushes in the lower wishbone arm as well, because I'm going to be replacing those. So once I've done all that, I'm going to start stripping it down, stripping the paint off of it, and cleaning the rust up, all the rest of it, treating the rust myself. I think I said in the first video I was going to be sending it off for sandblasting and powder coating, but I've gone against that now. I'll get on with stripping this frame down in a minute, getting the rack off. Right, so first of all I'm going to take the shroud thing off here. So it's quite simple really, it's just like a plastic shroud with a foam fitting on it. This is where it fits onto the bulkhead of the car. Yeah, so basically there's a Torx bolt just there. It's a T220, you won't be able to see that, but trust me it is. And if you move that shroud thing out of the way, it normally sits like that, but if you move it out of the way a little bit, like that, you can get your Torx bit on, undo that, take the Torx bolt right out, so that's him, and then that piece will then come right off, allowing you to take that shroud off. Right, so these gaiters are held on with these clips here, look, and you've also got a spring clip just there, so probably best to get the spring clip off first, I would say. Easy enough, just squeeze them together with a pair of pliers, he says, and get it out of the way. So this clip here, just get a screwdriver underneath it. I don't know if you can really see that, I don't know if the camera's focusing, but basically unclip it like that, get it out of the way, like that. And then this gaiter should slide off, just slide out of the way. And there you go, this is this fitting I'm talking about. So this is the original one, and there's an aftermarket one, Lemforder, so it's decent, but the Lemforder's got flats on it, make it easier to get off. So this one, the way I got it off, I used a big pair of mole grips. I mean, I'm not going to be using these again, so I'm not too worried. I put a bar on the end of the mole grips and I cracked it off that way, you know. So once you've got it cracked off, spin it off. Quite easy really once you've got it all cracked off. And that's it. That's the inner and outer tie rod end off. I'm going to do the other side now, and then we'll be ready to take that rack off of the frame. I'll bring you back in a bit. Second one off. Right, so now I can get that rack off, those 80mm bolts that I was on about earlier. Get those off, and that rack can be sent off for a refurb. That's it, that's the rack out. Right, so I'm going to get this sway bar off now. It's 4 13mm bolts, 2 bolts on each bracket, so yeah, that easy. Whip that off. So this is the Powerflex bushes, which I recommend if anyone's seen the video of fitting those Powerflex bushes. So Powerflex don't do the subframe bushes, so I'm going to have to go the orange ones, the Flowflex, which I don't really want to do, but I'm going to be going Powerflex for the arms. Right, that's a sway bar out of the way. Right, so on a subframe stood up like that, so I'm going to take these arms off now just to make it a little bit easier if you guys see what I'm doing. So this bolt here, 15, and then this bolt down here, you probably won't be able to see it very well, but it goes through there, another 15 head there. So yeah, I just finished cleaning out the threads. Bit of jollop as well to help you out. $18mm. It's a 15mm head, that bolt, and 18mm nut. Don't feel that tight, to be honest. So these are the bolts that a lot of people have trouble with getting out when they're leaving the subframe on the car to change the arms. So the bolt is that long that unless you drop the frame, not completely, you don't have to drop the frame completely, but as you can see, that's quite a long bolt. So when the frame's on the car, a lot of the time people can only get it out so far, that bolt, so they have to drop the subframe bolts and pull the subframe down a little bit in order to get those out, but it is doable. So anyway, yeah, that's that out. Right, so as you can see, guys, I got it flat on the floor, so it's easier to show you guys. Just putting some jollop on again, just to make life easier for myself. So there's the 15mm bolt I was on about just now, and it is tight. I can't remember the torque spec for it, but got my long bar on it, so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna smack myself in the face with a ratchet handle in a minute. Done that before. Quickest way to take some teeth out. And there you go, again, another long bolt. So that arm should now come straight out, and there he is. Right, so I just want to quickly show you this, guys, as an example. This is the passenger side lower wishbone arm, the suspension arm. And I was always suspicious about this bush here. It never looked too clever to me, but you can't get a very good look at it on the car, so I'll just take the opportunity to show you. So when obviously I got a big screwdriver in there, so when I lever the screwdriver over, can you see that gap opening up there? Look, camera's probably not focusing, but yeah, all the rubber's torn there, so he is definitely at it. That is quite a big tear down there, actually. Don't know if you can see, but yeah, that is definitely at it, that bush, so it's just as well I'm doing this. Right, I'm going to have a go at getting these bushes out now. I've already got one out, like I said previously. I'll just show you basically, just quickly, what I do. So yeah, that white piece there is actually like a plastic lip, so that basically needs to be cut off. Need to go round there with the axle, try not to damage the steel of the frame. But yeah, once you've gone all the way around there with the axle, then you can take this end of the bush off, this little bit I'll show you now, and then you should be able to push that bush out of the frame completely. Right, so that's that little bit off. I've still got a little bit of plastic here left. I didn't want to go too close because I didn't want to damage the metal of the frame. So we need to get that off a minute. Oh yes. So you might not be able to see, but now I've taken that plastic away, the edge of the hole, the edge of the steelwork is exposed, so now there shouldn't be much at all, apart from the tight fitment of that bush, stopping that bush from coming out of that hole. So I'll give it a go now. There we go. Out. Okay, so this is the frame after at least 4 or 5 coats of rust converter, in this case built Hamburg, which I strongly recommend. Excellent product. So as you saw earlier in the video, I was just doing sections at a time. I was bare steeling this section, I think it was, or the other side, doesn't really matter, but you just do one, concentrate on bare steeling one section at a time. I was using various tools to bare steel it, mainly that one. That was the one that did all the work, to be honest with you, but I've got to be honest guys, dangerous as you like those things, that'll take skin off in no time, so be really careful, wear gloves, wear a mask. There's my mask, look a bit of a donut, but I don't care. Belt sander as well, a little finger belt sander was good, coming useful. Also various wire wheel attachments on the drill, and the old school way, you know, the little tools, scrapes, picks, all the rest of it. Getting all the little crooks and crannies, get as much of that rust out as possible. Once you've done that, once you've bare steeled it and you're happy, you've got as much of that corrosion out as possible and all the paint off, go in with the brake cleaner. Thoroughly clean it with the brake cleaner. I can't emphasize that enough guys, because a lot of people forget to do that, and what will happen is your rust converter won't work as well. It won't take to the bare steel as well. And it encourage further corrosion. So the one thing you don't want to do if you've gone to this stage is to have corrosion come back in 6 months or a year's time. So be really particular about not just getting all the paint and rust out, but also about cleaning the bare steel up, getting all those oils off. Because when you're going over it with a wire wheel, you're firing all that oil back into the bare steel off the wire wheel. you know, so you need to, I know I keep saying it, guys, but you've got to do it. If you don't, you're kind of wasting your time a little bit, you know, or you know, you're not going to be getting as good a job. So yeah, bare steel it, clean it up with brake cleaner. Then once you've cleaned it up, go over it with a coat or 2 coats, preferably of your rust converter, in this case Built Hamber. And then once you've sealed it, you're ready to move on to the next part of the frame. Do the same again, do that all the way around the frame until you've got it completely covered and it's sealed then. So each section's sealed at a time. You're not exposing too much bare steel up at any one time. And I do that so you know, to prevent any further corrosion and flash off, obviously. But there's all these little things that you know, help you get a decent job. So that's what I did. And then once I'd done that, once it had you know, at least 2 coats really, to be honest, 2 to 3 coats really, if I'm being completely honest. Bit excessive, I know, but once I'd gone round the frame and it had 2 or 3 coats on every part of the frame, then I did the entire frame with a coat. Use a heat gun, speed the process up gently. Yeah, and then another 3 coats on top of the original 2 to 3 coats after cleaning it up, and then you'll be at this stage. And obviously, you know, this is now ready for primer. I'm going to be using a 2-part epoxy primer from Novel, rust inhibitor primer. And then once I've got the primer on, I'm going to be using a chassis paint and an enamel chassis paint, which is proven. I've been using it for years. It's a really good paint, really tough, durable paint. So again, probably 2 or 3 coats of that, and then it'll be ready for fitting the bushes and building back up, you know, sway bar, to get the arms back on. I need to paint the arms up, so we managed to source a couple of genuine Ford arms specific to the ST220. It's quite lucky. I don't know if there's another pair. I think they got one side or the other, but they haven't got both sides now, I don't think, from what I can see online. So yeah, I managed to source those. Just thought it was easier, quicker, but I do need to paint those as well. Get those on. Steering rack, get that back on once it's been off for a refurb. Like I said, anti-roll bar and the bushes, and then this thing will be ready to fit back to the car. So yeah, I'll get on with the primer next. Okay, so subframe's fully painted now. That's 3, 4, 5 coats even in some places. Minimum of 3 coats of top coat on top of the 3 coats of undercoat. Put a little date stamp on there so I can refer back to when it was done. So I'm quite pleased with the way it's come out. It's not perfect because it's only a brush job, but it's well protected. I think I've got most of the rust out. So I'm going to carry on now, fitting that anti-roll bar. That's all been painted as well. And the bushes. Right, so this is a subframe now. All the bushes are in. subframe bushes, anti-roll bar and anti-roll bar bushes. As you can see, I don't think there's much point in filming that, to be honest. The only thing I would point out is the splits go towards the back, where the bush opens up, goes towards the back of the subframe. That's about it, really. Straightforward, dead simple. Same again with the subframe bushes, pretty straightforward. That's the Flow Flex ones, the orange ones, which not so keen on, but there you go. What I'm doing now is cavity waxing. So that's built Hamber Dynax S50. I did all the rear of the car, the chassis rails and all the rest of it with that. It's really good stuff, excellent product. Never mind your wax oil and all that. That is the nuts, mate. Get that in there. So I'm just doing that and getting that in the middle of this subframe, down in all the holes and that, you know, all down in there, around the sides, all in there. I'm going to turn it the other way round and do it from that end as well, if I can. Get it in those holes down there. Look, I'm going to do the same with the new arms. So I think I said in my original clip, video, whatever you want to call it, I was going to polybush the old arms. I was going to put Powerflex, but Powerflex bushes were almost as much as the new arms. I managed to source new arms. There's ST220 specific, so there's the part number if anyone's interested. They are expensive, 300 quid. That was with discount as well. But I just thought it'd be easier. It'd be less hassle rather than trying to press those new bushes in there. So what I'll probably end up doing is pressing, where are they? I have got some of the orange Flow Flex ones. Oh, there we go. I'm going to get those in there, and I'm also going to get the ST220 specific ball joints in there, and then I'll have a spare set of arms in those old ones. I've got to clean them up a bit more yet, and I'm going to cavity wax them, same as what I'm going to do with these now. So again, fire that lance in all these little holes, so I'll show you what I'm on about. Right, time to crack on with this subframe. I'm going to build it up now. So there's the refurbished steering rack back. Got new arms, inner, outer track rod arms. There's the rack with the new bushes. There's the steering rack bolts. I've got arms, new arms, genuine Ford arms to go. So yeah, let's make a start. the tool. So, piece of cake this is. When it's off the car, that is one. Different story when you're trying to do this with it on the car. Right, so get that one in, roughly. I've given these bolts a good dose of all over, really. Copper slip. Basically get them in there, jiggle them about. Okay, so I think this thing is ready to go in. It's ready to go back in the car. So I'm just doing a little test run. I've got a motorbike stand there. The frame's all balanced up on a motorbike stand, and I'm using a drill on a socket to wind it up. Look. So that's going to be more than high enough to get that in to the car. So hold it to get those 4 main subframe bolts done up. Get them in position first. When I say done up, just get them in loosely. Same as the ball joints and the pinch bolts, track rod ends. Just get it all in place. Get this subframe up in place. Get the bolts started loosely on the subframe and everything else. I'm also going to have to fit the power steering pipes, obviously, and that heat shield. And then I can concentrate more on torquing the subframe bolts and getting the alignment pins by the side of them, look, just to the left of that bush. So yeah, I think he says we're all good to go. But yeah, we'll soon find out. So she's very roughly up in place. I've just got those 4 main subframe bolts started, and I'm just going to go around checking I'm not catching anything, fouling anything or what have you, because as you can see, getting this subframe back in definitely restricts you. It's taking up a lot of room under here, so I just want to check out all that power steering pipe work, make sure it's all running nice in the right places. Yeah, I'll bring it back. Right, so as you can see, the subframe's in. All the bolts are tightened up. Just got them pinched up for the time being. All the main subframe bolts, that is, I'm talking about. That one there, one over there, and the other 2 around the back, there and there. So I've got everything in place. So I've just had to use a 12mm socket in those holes, a 12mm impact socket. They are the same size as the hole in the underside of the car, and the other hole on the other side of the subframe, not that one. So I think these 2 holes in the subframe are slightly different sizes, but anyway, yeah, it's lined up pretty good for now. It'll do for now until it goes for wheel alignment, 4-wheel alignment. Yeah, I think that is about it. So like I say, I'm concentrating on the power steering, the rack power steering fluid, making sure I got no leaks.